Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we're here with Chains by AlphaDriveOne. Now, if you followed the group like I have through Boys Who Planet, we all know this was a competition excerpt song that was competed, and a good bit of the members who ended up in the final lineup were in this one. And so it's cool that we're going to see it shift from an OT6 to an OT8, and I'm really happy that they kept this one on their discography because it's a nice vibe and I like the structure of the dance very much. So I'm ready. I hope you are. Let's watch. So shout out to M2 for having the fan cam of this. I don't know if AlphaDriveOne is going to have a dance practice of this one, but I do feel they will for Freak Alarm, which is why I'm going ahead and reviewing Chains here and waiting on Freak Alarm if you had any questions about that. But here we go. We'll do a little watch through first. I know Arno's still gonna have his section. Nice. Yep. Yep. Hey! Oh, a Shinlong Chains. We didn't know we needed it until we had it, right? Woo! That was nice between those two. That was good. We've improved there, Leo. I noticed it. Could it be because we're wearing black, maybe? Yep. Yep. You're teasing it. Let's see. To the floor we go. Bye. Come on now. Yeah. Confetti. Sweet. And of course, I almost paused it. There's an outro. Cool. And instead of a chain, it's a tie, which I actually like more. I think it's safer on the wrists, if you ask me. Okay. Okay, I speed ran through the OT6 version, the full cam of it that M2 had whenever they won the challenge. Spoiler. Just so I can get a basic framework on the subtle differences, because there were a couple I was clocking, but I didn't want to say them unless it was an actual change. So the tie, I actually like the tie more because it naturally integrates into the fits better than the chain did. The chain kind of was just a one-off, not a one-off prop, but a prop that didn't have any relevancy to the rest of the outfit. In comparison to here, it definitely has more of a natural integration. Even though the song's called Chains, you can still use the tie for the imagery the way that chains bound, right? Anyway, so we've already done a review of the actual content of it, so it's going to be more so overview on seeing it with the group of 8. So having it more of this little partnering, we create balance on the sides. Oh, that's really nice. He comes up. We have a grab. Can't stop. And then you have 3 people grab instead of 2, or at least 3 people accent with that. That part was really nice. And there, going to the diagonal. Retracting back to the column. It is trickier to get that column straight whenever you have 2 more people added to it. We open it up. Little reveal. So Angshin and Gonwoo kept their sections, which I like. They did really good there. And of course, if Arno did not keep his section, it would be a disservice to many, many people, right? Because that is what, one of the key components of his performance in this particular track that got him up into the top lineup. It didn't start from here, but it sure as heck finished here. You know what I mean? Like, this locked this boy in. This mess right here. And I like the twist. They hit it through. And everyone did pretty well there. It didn't look awkward. Open it up. We have a little pass off like that. So I like that you have Shinlong come up to create balance. It's all about balance, right? Not symmetry as much. When you deal with an even number group, you want to maintain a balance as a priority. Where if I'm looking at the formation here, I don't want it to feel super lopsided on one side if the intention based on who's walking forward is, to be the feature, but also to have a sense of you don't have to be center, but making it to where it doesn't feel like we're lopsided on one side without being conscious of balancing it to the other side, if that makes sense. So that could be just a preference depending on my upbringing and exposure through shapes, right? So we have that deeper. We did have a cover-up of Junso, but guess what? This is different. And I was clocking it. I like this change because they would just keep it unison for the original. Here, now it's turned into a feature moment and everybody's speed changes. And they accent on the tail end of it. I love that choice a lot. But then the downside, of course, is you have, we hide Junso out of that. But I do think he has improved immensely. It's really nice to see him here. Boom, da-da-da-da. And this one, too, because it's considered like a fan service kind of track, if I'm being honest. Yes, it's in the album, but it's like people got what they wanted, right? Which was cool. I know some people, this was not their favorite song. That's fine. I think this one was the most competitive song to be in for the show format that we had. Goodness. Excuse me. Really nice. I really like how he accents and sends out. And I think having, I'm trying to double check who all was in it. Okay. I believe Arno, Leo, Angshen, Sangwon, and Gunwoo were in Chains. So there was just one guy that wasn't in Chains. No, that wasn't changed. That's not in the final lineup, which just tells you just how dense it was, which makes sense. Like, out of all the tracks, you had most of the members in this one, the current lineup. So it's just, I think it's nice. But specifically, like when I noticed Shinlong section or Sanghyun section, those are really tastefully placed, and we're going to talk about those in a second because that happens in verse 2. I mean, you see Shinlong here in center, which is nice. Brush. It is nice. Shinlong looks great in this kind of concept. And I sure as heck hope I don't see a concept like this from Boy Story, the group that he was originally a part of, because they were children for the majority, if not the entire time, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 members, the whole time they were active. So that's why I'm like, it's good to see Shinlong here because he's grown, not when he was 14. You know what I mean? There's a difference there. Anyway. So it's cool. This is probably a new side that most people have not seen of him, which is really cool. And I also like the mirroring of Arno and Shinlong because of their movement and how they approach it. It's really nice. They have really good power and control. And I like that rotation Sanghyun did there. He did a good job with the rotation and then the press out and the add-on is really nice there. We open it, drop it down, deeper. We toss it, that batter, the gun is fun, and then he hits it up and out. This right here, because it was originally Sangwon and then our other contestant here, but now we have it with Sanghyun and Shenlong. This is really nice. He has a good tone for this part to create a shift in the second verse. And it's very, like, it's not natural, but he has his chin really helps in this push up to make it look like, psh, lightweight, right? Which shows that, like, I got control whether you want it or not, right? Yeah, all this is great. Tension, he grabs, and we pull it away. That was song one section originally. But, you know, song one, he got killing part, he was doing this, that, and the other, which makes sense. But now there's more distribution amongst the members, which is cool because you got more people. Then you got you and me, got gone, woo, la, la. Okay, let's take a second look at Leo. Leo does not look as awkward this time compared to when we saw him in OT6. Good for him. It could be because he's in all black and it's really hard to clock the body roll down compared to those who have more of a white dominant shirt. But hey, it worked. And we twinkle it in, it's nice. We open it up. We look it up. The clap is nice. I think, hold on, this section's Arno's. I don't think he was... Yeah, he was. He was mouthing the words. He wasn't projecting at all. The backtrack is backtracking. It's fine. It doesn't bother me that much. They've had to compete a hot minute on the live vocals, and they have done pretty decent on the live vocals on the award show side, so I'm not really concerned. Boom, teacher. And now this is a part of the original, but you only had 3 on each side. There's so much more fullness because of quantity. Quantity is really interesting for that. Good tension to the inside, and then we have a nice little branch out. Then it's all unison. We're covering up, golly. I think they have whoever's in charge of performance direction has a really interesting habit of covering up Shenlong and back center in the second chorus. And I'm curious if in a Freak Alarm, if I noticed that there. Because I think this is what happened in Formula. He was either covered up in Course 1 or Course 2. Either way, though. Boom, boom. Basses. And he got somebody all lonely in the back. But also, I have to remember, this is chains. This isn't like an actual track the way that other tracks are on the mini album. This already had an established composition. So the shifts that they made for 8 people, I think are very tasteful. So I'm going to pick my battles. It's not that big of a deal. Now, if I'm seeing this kind of mess in Freak Alarm, we're going to have, not come to Jesus about it, but we're going to, it's going to be a sincere observation, a sincere note, because I've already touched on it for Formula. For an even number group, there's a responsibility for your choreographer and for your performance director, more so them. The choreographer just makes draft choreos, and then the performance director learns it and teaches to them, right? We have to be intentional with how you frame your artist, especially if it comes from a survival show that we've seen all of them in, where all of them were popular, right? Millions of votes. Down to the ground, they take it, press it up, boom, they kick it, come back up, nice. Great commitment. I really like the pull up with the head. Some of them did that, which was really nice. Those lasers would take me out, man. They will get right in my eye. It's cool though. Nice. Arno's got a lot of lines on this one, which is nice. So he loosens it up. That actually makes it functional for Sanghyun to grab it for a little moment there. They reach it. We could have pulled a little bit more, but also I don't know how they practice it. That's life. Way. Here we go. High note, stage right, and then we have, and then different choreo, and then good tension out of it. Sangwon's doing very well on fullness there. He's improved a lot on his range, meaning like how he's exploring the kinesphere side of movement. He's really taking a fullness to it, and he's doing a good job on the dynamic shift on it too. Everyone's improved on this one. Who was in it? Angshin's performed better. He is performing better. Like he's holding it down with everybody else. It is something that he's going to continue to grow in, is presentation here and believability here. This type of track is a bit hard for him to be able to relate to because of he's young, right? Tension on that's fun. Rotation is nice. There's your chains. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, this is also really clean, and I appreciate the thoroughness of the practice to get it clean for the fans, because I don't even think chains was this clean originally. Boom, and the look is nice. I really like the natural posture Shinlong has on this one, so we're gonna giving him a thumbs up on this one today. It's just really weird because I'm literally looking at him as like a 15-year-old right now. That sounds such a weird thing to say, but I'm right in the middle of a Boy Story marathon. That's why it's like seeing him here. I have to remember he's not 15 here. He's like going through puberty on my discography right now, and then here he's like grown, right? It's crazy town. Highly recommend watching that marathon with me because it's just what's crazy work, and also Lizzie Howe's in it too. So if you like him, that's cool. So here it's such a tease in the finish. They did good on the timing on that. It's nice. Open it up and around. Boom, look to the front. And then we end up sitting it down. In-ears are working, which we appreciate. The switch off is nice. Good tension where it's accented. So we grab it. So good on Leo. Like what's interesting is this whole time, seeing where that tie is, it's way easier to hide here because it's a part of the natural fit, right? And then also when it's down, it kind of looks as loose, right? And then you also have the imagery of Gunwoo's section where it was looser on the tie, so we already have a sensitivity to it, which is really cool, right? We grab, and then we rotate. Look at that safety, softer on the wrists, plus song one's wrists. Then when we look to the front, it's a really full, nice finish, right? Just the power of adding two people can really make something look really captivating. I do think the stage or spacing, if we are true center, spacing on stage right, it's really nice. It is a little bit more condensed on stage left. It's so subtle. Part of that could be a mix on how we practice. In the dance practice space on my end in studios, sometimes we have props or we have things on the side. I do know in dance practice rooms, they have like the stereo or they have like camera set up or they have something on the sides. So that can impact how you practice in your studio, where if you have a center in the room, but on one side you have like props and cameras and gear and all the stuff over here, that can impact the spacing of those who are catered more to that side. And this is such a subtle thing. We're going to have to look at the, when we watch Freak Alarm dance practice, I'm going to be checking out that stage left side. I need to make a note of that because that'll be a very interesting theory, is if it's part of it's because we have stuff that's hanging out on the sides, because that's a very, very real thing in like most studios. There's always stuff on the sides, whether it's a bar, it's props, it's chairs, it's parents, this depends. So that's very interesting. But I thoroughly enjoyed this. If you want to see my journey on Boys Played It and binge away, I've seen season 1 and season 2. We've already tackled all of Zero Base One's discography, as well as we are trying to stay on top of Aldi as best we can whenever they release stuff like this. Love me a good vibe. I love that they did this. It's great that we kept what we did, and I like the changes that were made too. I am Jess, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.